Hello, so buddies. You are welcome to my channel. My name is Temitayo. In today's video, we will be learning how to cut a simple princess dart bustier. So if this is your first time of visiting the channel, you are welcome. Kindly subscribe, like the video, and turn on your notification bell to get notified when I drop new tutorials. And as to my returning subscribers, I do not take your love for granted. Thank you. So buddies, let's get to the working table. So guys, this is the measurement we are going to be using. Bust 40, back is 16, so divided by 2 is 8. My bust point is 11. My underbust is circumference is 33, while the length, that is the shoulder to underbust, is 15. My front half length is 18, my back half length is 15. Then my waist is 34. My nipple to nipple is 8, so divided by 2, that is 4. To get my chest line is bust divided by 6 plus 2.5. So that is 9.1. So just insert your own bust measurement here, divide it by 6, add 2.5 to it, and you get your own measurement. So let's get started. So guys, as you all know, that the first thing first that we do here is to get our starting line. So this is our starting line. So the next thing we are going to be doing is to get our vertical measurement. So I'll be starting from my chest line. Remember, my chest line is 9.1. So I'll mark the 9.1, followed by my bust point, followed by my under bust. So my bust point is 11, my under bust is 15, then followed by my front half length, which is 18 inches. So that's 18 inches. So but I'm going to be using the remaining as allowance. So I'm just going to roll all this line into straight line. I'm just going to be taking them into straight line. Then this part will be my half length, which is here. So I'm going to be labeling what I have here. This is my chest line, so I'm just going to be writing chest line. This is my bust point, then followed by my under bust, then followed by half length. That is the front half length. The next thing for me to do now is to get my neckline. So I'm going to be using neck width 3, neck depth 3 inches. So marking 3 here, and I'll mark my 3 here. So I'm just going to make into the tracer. So I'm going to be using this, and I'm just going to be connecting like so. So the next thing for me to do is to mark my back. So remember, my back measurement is 16. So divided by 2 is 8. So I'm going to be from, this is my folded part. So I'm going to, from here, I'll mark 8. So I'm going to mark my 8 inches like so. Then I'll mark the same 8 on my chest line so as to get my straight line. So I'm going to be connecting here to here. So let's see, so I'm just going to be connecting like that. So the next thing for me to do is to get my shoulder slope. Remember, my shoulder slope, front shoulder slope is always 1.5 inches. So 1.5 inches, I'm going to mark that here. I have my 1.5, so I'm going to connect it like this. So after connecting it like this, the next thing I'm going to do is to get my armhole curve. So to get my armhole curve, from this my chest line, I'm going to come up by 3 inches. So coming up by 3 inches here. Can you see? 3 inches. This is what I have. So on these 3 inches, I'm going to come up in by 0.75. If you are busty, you can come in by 0.75. But if you are not, you can come up by 0.5. But I'll be using 0.75. So this is the 0.5. So I'm going to connect with a straight ruler here like this. So I'm going to be connecting like this. Did you see what I did there? So after that, I'm going to be getting my bust on this line, my bust measurement. So my bust here is 40. So I'm going to be dividing it by 4. I have 10 inches. So the cutoff of my bust here is 10 inches. So this is the cutoff of my bust here. So I'm going to be connecting this with my armhole curve. So I'll place it in a way that both lines are touching. So that is what I have in there. So the next thing to do is to get my waist measurement on my half length. So my waist is 34. So divided by 4, I have 8.5. So I'm going to be marking my 8.5 here. So guys, after marking my 8.5 here, you know we are going to add our dart on our waist. So I want my dart to be 1.5 inches. So this is 1.5 inches. If you like, you can use 1 inch for your dart depending on your preference. So I'm just going to connect my chest line to the half length here. So that is what I have there. So now the next thing is to take our dart. So that is where my nipple to nipple comes in. You remember my nipple to nipple is 4 inches. So I'm going to be marking 4 inches on my bust point, 4 inches on my waist. So that is on here. So 4 inches, and I'm going to be marking my 4 inches. So I'm going to be connecting. So I also match that 4 inches here so that I can get a straight line. So I'm going to be connecting like so. So after connecting this, I'm going to be taking that 1.5 inches that I put. I'm going to be taking it on this dart. So 1.5, this is 1.5 divided into 2. I have 0.75. So I'm going to be taking 0.75 on both sides. So this 0.75, I'm going to connect it to my bust point. So I'm going to connect it straight like this, and I'm going to create something like this too. So guys, after creating something this like this, the next thing for us, so the 1.5 inch that we take here, we have taken it out from here. So the next thing for me to do now is to do my under bust tightening. So to get my under bust tightening, guys, this is standard. So guys, if your nipple to nipple is 4, what you are going to be taking for your under your under bust to be 3. If your nipple to nipple is 5, what you are going to be taking will be 4. If your nipple to nipple is 6, what you are going to be taking is 5. So if your nipple to nipple is 3, so what you are going to be taking will be 2. If your nipple to nipple is 3.5, what you are going to be taking is 2.5. You're going to just be subtracting 1 inch from your nipple to nipple. This is standard. So you see what I'm going to do now. So this is my under bust. My nipple to nipple is 4. So I'm going to be taking 3 inches. I'm going to be taking 3 inches from here to here. So can you see? This is my 3 inches. So my under bust is 13. Can you see? My under bust circumference is 13. It's 33. So 33 divided by 4, I have 8.25. So this is 8.25. Remember I took 3 here already. So that 3, I'm going to continue from this line. I'm going to continue that line and I'll mark my 8.25. Do you see what I did there? So I'll mark my 8.25. So whatever I have that is remaining here, I have almost half of an inch remaining. So is that half of an inch that I'm going to be adding here. So this is the half of an inch that I'm going to be adding here. That is how you do your under bust tightening. If you don't understand it, please just go over the video again and you will understand it. So I'm going to be connecting my waist to this end from here to this like that. So I'm just going to be connecting like this. Can you see that? I'm just going to be connecting like that, and I'm going to be connecting like this too. Can you see? So I'm going to be using my curve. I'm going to be using this type of curve, but I'll make sure is not too curvy. I don't want it to be too curvy. If it is too curvy when you are joining, you'll have smile lines. So I'm just going to, and you see what I just did there. So the next thing, I'm going to do the same thing here. So this is our under bust tightening. If you will see it now, that means what we took for our under bust tightening here is 2 inches. We took 2 inches. So guys, the next thing for us to do is to determine where our bust point is going to be, so that we're going to be connecting it to here. So guys, remember we are no longer using this line. This is our new line here. So from here, I'm going to be teaching you something. From here, come down by 2 inches. From that 2 inches, come down by another 2 inches. So from here, I came down by 2 inches. From here, I came down by another 2 inches. This is what we are going to connect to this line. So now, if you are not busty, use this line. Connect to here. But if you are busty, maybe your bust, you have cleavage, your bust is from about 39 above, use this point here. If your bust is 35 below, you can use this point. So I'm going to be connecting I'm going to be connecting here. So I'm going to be using a straight line. I'm going to be using a straight line to connect. So can you see? So I'm just going to be using a straight line there. So can you see what I have there? So now on this point, I'm going to be coming down by 1.5. That 1.5 is standard. Just going to be coming down by 1.5. Is that 1.5 that I'm going to connect back here? But I'm not going to connect it exactly to this point. If I connect it exactly to this point, my bust is just going to be sharp like this. But if you know our bust is round, so if you want your bust to be round, so just connect it to somewhere around. Just let it blend. Can you see what I'm doing? We are not going to connect it straight here. We are going to connect it like this. So don't bother about the spaces that will be here. It's not going to affect your measurement. So I'm just going to connect like so. So guys, you see what I have here? I see that this space itself is, can you see? Can you see? Can you see what I have here? Sorry, this is the 1.5 here. So I'm just going to be connecting it to the 1.5. So sorry guys, this one is no longer there. So this is the 1.5. Remember we came down here by 1.5. So connect that 1.5 to this line. So guys, on this line, I'm going to come out by the same 1.5. I'm going to come out here by that 1.5. So guys, if you come down here by 1, you have to come out here by 1.5 so that by the time you start joining, they are going to match up. So I'm just going to connect like so. Can you see? So I'm just going to be drawing my armhole curve like this. So now let me use my armhole curve. So I'm just going to be joining it like this. So now we are going to be cutting this place out. We are going to be cutting it out like so. So the next thing that we are going to do now is to get our bust dart. So on getting our bust dart, guys, remember that my front half waist is 13 and my back half length is 15. So to get my half length, that will be 18 minus 15. That is to get the bust point. That is 18 minus 18. So I have 3 inches. So that 3 inches that I have here, I'm going to come down from my bust point. I'm going to come down by that 3 inches and I'm going to connect to my bust point. So this is my bust point. I'm just going to connect like so. This is what I have. Came down by 3. I'm going to connect to that bust point like so. So after connecting like so, that means here we are no longer using it. Then here is going to be cut out. Do you understand that? So after doing this, the next thing for us is to cut out. So guys, in case you still want to modify your neckline, if you want your neckline to be like maybe 4 inches, this is 3, I'm going to measure it like this. This is 4 inches and you want your neckline depth to be 5 inches. So this is 5 inches. You can still connect it. Like so. Can you see? You can still modify your neckline. So the next, what we are going to be doing now is to cut out what we have here. So firstly, before I cut here, I'm going to be cutting my neck, and I'm going to be cutting this like this, and I'm going to be slashing through here. So I'm just going to cut. And I'm going to be cutting. So guys, what I want to do now is for us to fold our folding. So what I'm just going to do now is I'm going to you can see I'm folding it from the down part like this. Can you see what I have? So I'm going to be, can you see what I have there? Did you see what I have there? So I'll first fold from this down part and I'll join here. So as you can see, these lines are not the same, they are not equal. So what I'm going to do now is to get my straight ruler. Let me see. So I'm just going to be connecting like this. Do you see what I have there? So I'm just going to connect like this, so that by the time I am sewing, these lines are going to match up. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to be using my tape. I'll be using this to join together like so. So I can then cut out. So then I cut out this, and I cut out this, and so guys, can you see what I have here? So I'm going to go ahead and put this out, and to cut this, this is what we have. So to cut this, I'm just going to come like this. Can you see? And I'll cut, and I'll cut. So guys, this is what we have. So by the time I open this up like so, guys, can you see this is what we have? So this is my bust point, this is my bust point here. So can you see this bust point? If I join it like this, can you see that it's matching up? Can you see? Can you see that is matching up with this line? So by the time I join it, can you see it's matching up with my bust point? And by the time I join like so, you can see what I have. So this is, just follow this step, and this is what you will have for your bust point. So I'm going to cut this on a fabric in the next tutorial. So guys, cutting the back, this is what I have, and I'm going to be folding it like so. And so guys, this is drafting the back. The first thing I'm going to be doing now is to be getting my starting point. So this is my starting line like this. So the first thing that I'm going to be doing is my waist. Can you see that my back half length is 15 inches? It's different from the front half length. So my back half length 15 inches. I'm going to be taking that 15 inches and 15 inches, and I'm going to be marking it into a straight line. Can you see? So for my back, I want my zipper allowance to be 1 inch. So this is the folded part. I'm going to mark 1 inch here, and I'm going to mark 1 inch here. So I'm going to connect my 1 inch together. So after connecting my 9 inch, I'll take my bust point measurement. So my bust point measurement is 11 inches. So I'll take that here. I'll take that here. Then remember our chest line, the way those one that we calculated here, 9.1. I'm going to take it also, my 9.1 and my 9.1. So I'm going to mark this into a straight line. So this is my bust, my chest line. This is my bust point, and this is my half length. That is for the back. So guys, the next thing is to be taking my back. Remember the back we used for is 8 inches for the front. So I'm going to be using the same back. So now I'm not going to be starting from, this is my zipper allowance. So I'm not going to be starting with this, but I'm going to be starting every of my measurement from this line. So my back is 8 inches. I'm going to be taking the same 8 inches on my chest line. So my 8 inches, and I'm going to be rolling them into a straight line. So this is what I have. The next thing, remember I used my neck width for the back, I used 3 inches. But for this, the neck depth for the back, I'm going to be using 1 inch, sort of standard. So I'm just going to connect like this, and I'll connect into the zipper allowance like so. So connect into the zipper allowance like so. So the next thing for me now is to get my shoulder slope. Remember, the shoulder slope we use for the back is 1.5, but the shoulder slope we are using for the front is 1 inch. So from here, my chest line, I'll take 1 inch and I'm going to connect it like so. So to get my chest line, my armhole, so I'm going to be looking for the middle of this. This is 8 inches here, so the mid is 4. So now for you to get accurate, whatever you have here, you can just fold your tape measure into 2 like this, and you will get your point. So on this, for remember that on the front we came in by 0.75, but on this back I'm just going to come in by 0.5 inch just to remove the bulge. So first thing I'm going to do, I'm going to connect here to here with a straight line. So on my chest line, I'm going to be getting my bust. Remember, I'm starting from this line. So my bust is 40. My bust is 40. So divided by 4, I have 10. That is a quarter of my bust. I have 10. So this is the 10 inches here. So I'm just going to be connecting this with my armhole cord. So I'm just going to connect like so. So can you see what I have like that? So the next thing is to take our dart. Remember, all my measurement are still starting from this line. So my 4 inches here, 4 inches here. Remember, our nipple to nipple is 8. Our nipple to nipple is 8 divided by 2 is 4. So I'm going to be rolling this into a straight line. But our dart is not supposed to get to our chest line. It's not supposed to get to our chest line. So from this chest line, I'm going to come down by 1 inch. So I'm going to come down by 1 inch like so. So this I'm going to connect like that. So our line is not supposed to be touching this. Our dart line is not supposed to be touching our chest line. So remember, I use 0.75 for my front, so that is 1.5. So 1.5, that is 0.75 on both sides. So this is 1.5. So I'm just going to be connecting here to this like this, and I'm going to connect here to this. Can you see what I have? So this is the dart for the back. It's not supposed to get to your chest line, else it's going to affect your bust measurement. So the next thing for us to do now is to mark our waist. Remember, my waist is 34 inches, so divided by 4, quarter of my waist is 8.5. So I'm going to be marking my 8.5 here. Remember, I'm starting from this line. So I'm going to be marking my 8.5. And remember that allowance that we have here, this is 1.5 inches. So I'm going to be replacing that 1.5 here like so. So I'm just going to be connecting into a straight line. So then the next thing is, if you don't want this bust dart in the front, you are okay with this. But if you want your bust dart at the front, this is what we are going to do. What we are going to do now, if you don't want to, we are going to connect like this. So we're not really connecting with, we are going to connect with almost can you see? So from here like this. So can you see what we have? This is what we have here, and you are going to come out by half inch, come out by half inch. Can you see? I came out by half inch, so I'm going to be, so remember, we are no longer using this line, we are using this line. So when you connect to the midpoint, come in by half inch, and from that half inch you can connect you connect your armhole. Can you see? So this armhole is no longer needed. This is the armhole that we are going to use, so that by the time you cut out and join this together, it will match up. So the next thing we are going to do is to eliminate the bulge at the zipper side. So I'm just going to take half inch, and this half inch I'm going to connect it to, see, I'm just going to connect it to the upper part like that. So that means I don't need here on my, so this is my new zipper allowance. And this, so guys, there's something I forgot to do on the first so here you are going to be doing shoulder tightening. Your shoulder tightening for the front is 0.25. 0.25. So just come down 0.25 and reconnect to this. So guys, this is basically all we have for our back. So remember, we are going to be cutting here out like this. So let's cut out. So after cutting out like so, I'll cut this. So guys, I cut this out like this. So the next thing I'm going to be cutting, I'm going to be taking this out, and I'll cut here like this. I'll cut here like this. Let me just put this aside. So I'm going to be cutting here, then I'll cut my zipper allowance. So guys, after cutting my zipper allowance, I'm going to open this. This is what I'm going to be having. Let me see what I'm going to be having. I'm going to be having this, and I'm going to be having. So by the time you join here, can you see? To match. When you join like this and this, they will match up. And when you join these two, you're going to match up. So this is the back now. So guys, this is, so remember I told you that I forgot to do the neckline tightening. So on this neckline, I'm going to be coming down by 0.5 inch. I'm going to be coming down by 0.5 inch. So 0.5 inch, and I'm going to be connecting it back to the shoulder slope. So this is not going to affect your measurements. It's not going to affect it. It's just going to be make it more fitted. So that is what we have. So these are the front and back pattern. So these are the patterns we have. So I'm going to be cutting this on my fabric.